Good morning. Today is Tuesday, October 7th. This is Wake Up with KERA News, and I'm Andrew Garcia. It'll be sunny today with highs in the low 90s, and we can expect some light winds in the afternoon. Lows for tonight will be in the 60s. Last week, the Dallas-based Texas Stock Exchange got federal approval. It's the latest development in the city's booming finance industry. We'll hear more about how Dallas got the attention of Wall Street. That's after the news. A federal lawsuit from sheriff's deputies accuses Dallas County of not paying them for hours worked and not compensating them with time off. Details from KERA's Marina Trahan-Martinez.
Vacation requests were also refused, according to the lawsuit. It includes more than a dozen other sheriff's employees, including detectives. Retired 37-year veteran Senior Sergeant Tina Allman and her brother-in-law, Deputy Timothy Allman, are among them. Tina Allman is owed about $25,000. Her husband, James, a county deputy, was killed while on duty in 1995. Plaintiff's attorney George Hyde says law enforcement who earn it should receive their pay.
It's a sad day in respecting government.
New payroll software has caused compensation problems since 2023. For KERA News, I'm Marina Trahan-Martinez in Dallas.
A Plano man says if Attorney General Ken Paxton's divorce records can be sealed, his should too. But as KERA's Tolawani Osibamo reports, legal experts say it doesn't always work like that.
Donald Miles unsuccessfully asked a Collin County judge to seal his divorce records, saying it could damage his reputation, but a judge let the Paxtons keep the details of their divorce private. Family law attorney Christine Andreessen says public figures often have a better case for sealing their records.
It could be splashed all over, TMZ or some tabloid or whatever, whereas it's rare that people look up their next door neighbor's court records.
But she also says it's an unpredictable process that depends on the facts and individual judges. Meanwhile, news organizations are arguing in court that the Paxtons' divorce record should be public. For KERA News, I'm Toluwani Osibamo.
The Dallas-based Texas Stock Exchange won federal regulator approval last week. The exchange is just one part of the rapidly expanding finance sector in Dallas. KERA's Dylan Duke reports on the latest addition to Y'all Street and what it could mean for North Texas.
That's the sound of Governor Greg Abbott ringing the closing bell earlier this year for the New York Stock Exchange's Texas branch based in Dallas. The branch was relocated from Chicago, drawn by Texas's relatively low cost of living and business-friendly politics. But not far away, its competition was taking shape, one that was homegrown and backed by Texas leaders, the Texas Stock Exchange. The Securities and Exchange Commission approved its application last week. It aims to challenge the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ, which is also invested in Dallas. The city has become the prime location for these companies because of its growing banking industry. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, and Scotiabank have all increased their footprint in the region recently.
So all that combination of financial services talent is all centered right here in Dallas.
Jeff Karcher is the global managing director for the Texas Stock Exchange.
So you put that together and it really kind of becomes an epicenter for financial strength.
Karcher says that has allowed Dallas to attract talent nationally.
It's why I picked up and left 33 years in Atlanta with a very successful career and moved to Dallas. I was very convinced about what we were doing here.
Dallas is now home to the second largest number of finance employees in the country, behind only New York City. Rachel Race is the head of listings in Texas for NASDAQ.
I think Dallas is creating a really amazing ecosystem, right? And they're using the term Y'all Street, which I think is awesome. But Y'all Street isn't a street, right? It's really this economy that they're building in the city.
She says so many of NASDAQ's clients are located in Dallas, they're opening a regional headquarters in the city.
This is where the action is.
Economists say the level of growth in the finance industry will have a ripple effect throughout Dallas. Colm Clark is the director of the Bush Institute's Southern Methodist University Economic Growth Initiative. He says the exchanges could encourage companies to list Texas as their home state, which could drive investment into areas like Dallas.
If even a relatively small fraction do, it's a totally different world than it's been for quite a few decades.
Kirti Sinha is an assistant professor of finance at UT Dallas. She says the new businesses will bring new high-income workers, and those workers will require new businesses, creating a feedback loop of growth.
Growth basically follows money. Every time you see these white collar jobs come in, it also translates into some blue collar jobs, because the people who are coming in, they would need places to go and eat. They would need houses. So you need more people to build, houses.
Clark warns, though, it's too early to tell whether the growth and prosperity will spill over into areas like southern Dallas.
So we'll see. But I'm pretty optimistic about the general tendency of a rising tide that will, to some degree, lift most, if not all, boats.
There's also a question of whether Yall Street will maintain its momentum. The city was the center of a different banking boom in the 70s and 80s that shaped the Dallas skyline, only to fall apart in the savings and loan bust. Clark says rather than a city having a special economic development plan, it needs to focus on the urban basics. That includes public transportation, fixing streets, and having public safety.
If you develop a reputation as a physically unsafe city for human beings, then everything else will be for naught.
If Dallas can get those right, the city could keep up Yall Street's momentum. The Texas Stock Exchange says it will begin listing companies in 2026.
That was KERA's Dylan Duke reporting. The Dallas Mavericks had their first preseason game last night, trouncing the Oklahoma City Thunder 106-89. College superstar Cooper Flagg had a strong showing in his 14 minutes played, notching 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists, hopefully boding well for his rookie campaign once the real season starts. Get primed for Halloween with ghost tales this Friday and Saturday at the annual Mesquite Meander. The Living History Tour takes place on the grounds of the Mesquite Cemetery and features local actors portraying long-since-passed residents whose stories are told among the tombstones. To see details and more arts events, head to the Go See DFW calendar at keranews.org/calendar. Thanks for listening to Wake Up with KERA News. I'm your host, Andrew Garcia. For more news in your inbox, visit kera.org/wakeup. That's where you can subscribe to the Wake Up with KERA News newsletter. You'll get a more in-depth look into the news with plenty of good morning vibes. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at KERATX. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.